dream, though it's harder to live it. They gon' let.
Yeah. Yo, sometimes you gotta go to war for what you believe in. Sometimes you gotta go to war for what it is that you want, what you see that's right. I'm about to go to war, but lyrically. War cry, baby. Yeah. Hey yo, war cries echoes in the background. That's the sound of soldiers getting ripped up and tore down. Lyrically dismantle metaphors and manhandle. Welcome to a special edition of Impose My Will podcast. I am your host, your brother, Ramon. With me, my other host, my other brother, Joe.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? We here.
Absolutely, we here. Right now, we are at JT's Fitness and MMA with a wonderful legend from our area. Like I gotta break it down real quick before I just introduce you, right? So you come across fighters, you come across athletes, good athletes all the time. It is rare that you come across legends. We are blessed to have a legend that is accessible in our area. Not only is he a legend in the ring, but he's also a legend outside of the ring. For a lot of the things that he is doing in his community with the youth as well. But we're here to talk about his legendary exploits in the ring. I'm talking about rated number 1 in the state of New York for MMA, pound for pound number 4 in the state of New York, Glory Kickboxing legend. We got Joe Taylor, the son of the legend, Joe Taylor. Welcome, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Man, first and foremost, thank you so much for just accepting this interview. This is one of the ones that I want to do. I tell people all the time that, you know, you're somebody that I look up to.
Thank you.
And absolutely. Not just in the sport. We'll talk about it more, but not just in the sport, but with you giving your life back to, you know, your city, the community, the youth in your community. And we'll get into it because you're doing a lot. This wonderful building that we in, y'all need to come down and check it out because he's transforming this building not from just a place just to train martial arts or to lift weights and get in shape, but he's really transformed it to a place where the youth can come and have, you know, really just a community. You know what I mean? Just a community, and you're adding things.
Yes, sir.
He's added things as we go. So we'll get into it. We'll talk about it, Joe. They're both named Joe, so so excuse me if I say Joe and both of them say what's up. But anything you want to say before we get started?
I'm saying let's jump into it.
Let's jump into it.
Let's go.
Yep. So I think the initial question that we want to know, everybody want to know, is just give us an introduction of who Joe Taylor is.
Who Joe Taylor is, all around. You know, I'm a true believer of God first, and Absolutely. I thank God for his glory and all the blessings I have received. I'm a Christian man, Absolutely. And my father, Johnny Taylor, and my mother, Norma Taylor, they raised a good guy here.
Absolutely.
I started boxing at the age of 3.
Wow.
You know, my dad taught me at gyms my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was in and out of trouble.
Yeah.
From 14 to 26 and to 26 to 40, I made big changes in my life.
Absolutely. Quick question for you before we continue on. Now, are you originally born and raised in Lockport?
Born and raised in Lockport.
Okay. Born and raised in Lockport. So that's awesome.
Born and raised in Lockport. I left Lockport at the age of 7, moved down to Georgia, where my dad's family is.
Yeah.
What part of Georgia?
Peach County, Fort Valley.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Fort Valley, yeah. I was down there from 7 to 15, and I learned a lot down there.
Yeah,
you know? It's
sure.
different down there.
Notice the smile when he said,
"Learned
a lot."
Man, I miss it. I learned a lot.
Yeah,
I miss my peoples down there, my friends, my family, and you know,
grandma's cooking. You know what I'm saying down there, boy. It's definitely different. How did the name Son of a Legend come about?
Well, my father, you know, he's been boxing in Lockport, been teaching everyone in Lockport. You know, wherever I go, it's like, hey, your dad, taught me how to box,
right,
you know,
right.
or your dad, even he had hands and all this stuff. I hear a lot of stories about my father.
Yeah.
And you hear them stories and everything. He's a legend.
He's a legend.
You know, he's a legend in our city.
Absolutely.
And he changed a lot of lives.
Absolutely.
And so I came to me and Amir Abdallah. We were trying to find out a fight name. And I'm like, Joe Taylor. Bad boy Joe Taylor. He's like, nah, we can't do the bad. We want to paint not the bad image, like bad boy. Let's paint a good image.
Just clean it up.
And then Amir Abdallah came up with the name Son of a Legend. And as soon as he said that, it's been Son of a Legend from that day.
So it sounds like your father is probably the greatest influence on you both, you know, in life and in combat sports.
Right. Yes.
Absolutely. Because I want to follow up with just asking, like, outside of your father, who's obviously probably your greatest inspiration, who are the fighters that influenced you?
The fighters that influenced me. Well, one, I want to say Amir Abdallah. He was one. Roy Jones Jr. Tyson. Floyd Mayweather. Canelo. There's a couple guys that I love to watch. John Jones. You know, and I watch these guys and I pick up little things and I, you know, put it into my arsenal.
Awesome, man. You want to take the next one?
Yeah. So you mentioned Amir Abdallah. Now, what was the influence that they had, Amir Abdallah and like Corey Webster, who was your coach, influence you more as a fighter to really make you break out?
Right. So my father, he passed away when I was 27. And one thing my dad always told me from day one, since I came out, it's my champion. You know what I mean? Right. My champion. Right. So, you know, from the first day I started boxing, it was 3. So that's, you know, taking them little steps from 3 years old until the day my dad passed away. He was always saying, you know, I wanted a champion. You're my champion. And I just never competed from it, you know. I didn't start competing until the age of 27. But that's something my dad always wanted, was a champion. But my dad passed away before my first amateur fight. And with my dad passing away, I needed someone I could look up to who would influence me and help me change my life and to think positive and everything. And that was Amir. So I came to Amir Abdallah and I was like, hey, I wanna fight. And he was like, you know, I have one rule, just be loyal to me. And I was like, no problem at all. You know what I mean? I be loyal, you be loyal. So Amir, you know, he came up with the fight name, Joe Taylor, Son of a Legend. Amir, I looked up to Amir. And very respectable guy. And he's like, you need a coach. I had the guy for you, Corey Webster. Corey the Story Webster.
Corey the Story.
So Corey Webster, he put me under Corey Webster's wing. Corey Webster was the owner and still is the owner of Western New York MMA out in Buffalo. Great Arrow.
Absolutely.
So Corey took me under his wing and he punished me for 5 years. 5 to 6 years, Corey Webster punished me. I mean, like, he's my head coach and he's beating my ass. And I thought we were friends and he'll beat my ass a little bit more. And I'm like, there's no way this dude can say I'm his boy, I'm his friend, and he's beating me like this. But with Corey Webster, he taught me hands-on. And he made me one of the fighters, you know what I mean, the fighter that I am today.
Absolutely.
And, you know, like I said, he whooped me out for like 5 to 6 years, but the last 4 years, I started making him take knees and stuff like that. So,
that's right.
You know, so I learned a lot. So them are my 2 guys that, you know, when my father passed away, at Amir, you know, he jumped right up and he took control and he led me down the right road. Awesome. And he put me under Corey Webster's wing. And Corey Webster, great guy. I love that guy. And you know, he's a phone call away.
Excellent, man. I would say that it paid off. As y'all can see, belts here behind us. If you can't see, belts there. If you ever been, well, you know, you never been here, but if you ever come here, belts in his office. I mean,
very decorated.
Very decorated. His dad was speaking into his life. This is my champion. This is my champion. Yes. And now he literally lives the life of a champion. Yes. So your dad spoke life into you.
Yes.
And it's just amazing to see. Every time I come in here, I walk past the office in awe. And I just look like, man, this dude really.
Yo, it truly is an amazing sight. Like
It
just to
really
walk
is.
in, you can feel the energy.
Absolutely.
It's like how you carry yourself
Thank
as
you.
well
I
too.
appreciate
It's just
that.
Bleeds champion.
Thank you.
know what I
I
mean?
Bleeds
appreciate
champion, and you're gonna breed some champions. We'll get to that in a little bit. Go ahead.
Now you talk about your career, your belts and stuff. Tell us a little bit about, fighting in WKA and just with your MMA career, and you was focused on boxing too, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I have 13 belts. I have 2 gold medals from Spain when I fought in Spain in 2015 for Team USA. So real quick, when I first started fighting, my first fight, I put the guy to sleep. And he never fought again. They had to wake him up with salt. They put salt under his nose to wake him up. First fight, right? And then ticket sales went crazy after that one. So, I had a couple other amateur fights in kickboxing, and then Amir and my boy Kevin Van Nostrand always showing off their belts and stuff. I'm like, yo, I gotta get me a belt. And I went to reach for one of their belts one day, and he's like, nah, you can't take a picture with this belt, Joe. You gotta get your own belt. Wow. I said, okay, no problem. Yeah. Went online, looked for some tournaments, and I found the IKF. They were having tournaments in Florida, Orlando.
Okay.
All right, I was broke. Yeah. So I was offering to do car washes and all that just to get the money to go down and fight for this belt. Yeah. I had some close friends, Charles Johnson and the McLeans. They seen that, I was going to go out here and hustle, wash cars, whatever it took to get them tickets so we can go down there and compete.
For sure.
They sponsored me, my first sponsors,
that's
and they still sponsor me till this day.
Wow.
So Charles Johnson has the McLean, shout out to them, the McLean family, for them looking out for me and helping me, achieve these goals and dreams. So my first belt, I went down to Orlando, and I'm like, I'm going home with this belt. I don't have it out here. It's in the office.
Right.
Won that belt. Became addicted to winning.
Yes.
All right. I was addicted to winning. Yeah. So next year after that, won another belt out there. And just winning felt good. Yeah. More wins, more money, for sure, more belts, more members at your gym. Yep. Everything. So I'm like, you win, all good things come. Yes. Right. So I just became addicted to winning and winning these belts.
Absolutely.
And giving God all the glory, because if it wasn't for God, none of that would have been possible.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. Like my man CT Fletcher says, it's magnificent obsession.
Yes.
You gotta be obsessed. You gotta be obsessed with whatever it is you want to do in life, whether it be scholastically, whatever the case may be. You have to become obsessed with that thing, and that's where the success is. Man.
That's what I tell my fighters.
Yeah,
I tell them I know who wants it.
Yeah,
I can see you guys in the gym. I got cameras.
Right. Absolutely.
I know who wants it.
Right.
I know how bad I wanted it. And I went and got it. So I like that.
That's dope, man. Speaking of another fighter, real quick, this is a sidetrack, man. Shout out to Solomon Britton, man. I love his energy, man.
Guy.
Yeah, I love his energy. He is
top tier.
And then when he told me he was 15, I was like, 15?
Yeah, that was the shocker part.
Jeez, I said, you a baby. I said, he has so much to do.
He does, and that's my guy. I love Solomon. Yeah. And that's my guy. Yeah. He might be walking in here. Right. He's in this gym 24/7.
Yeah.
And he's 15. He turned 15 in August. Yeah. He has 12 fights now. And he's fighting 17-year-olds because nobody at his age would want to fight him. He's fighting 17-year-olds, and that's my guy though.
Yeah, man.
He's gonna, he's gonna stick with me. Yeah, and we're gonna play this video a few years from now.
Absolutely,
he's gonna be a professional boxer.
Yeah,
and he's gonna be very successful.
Yeah, you can see it.
You can see it.
Sponge, absorbing everything.
It is definitely humble, respectful, raised well.
Yes, awesome. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that kid got great.
You can see he's super dedicated to being great. Even in the little interview we did with him, he talked about a little bit of the ups and downs, and it didn't deter him. Right. It's just turning him into a beast. He's like, now things are starting to click for him. So shout out to you, man. Can't wait to see your career.
Keep it up.
You embody the spirit of your coach. And that's really big because in martial arts, they always tell us to, embody the spirit of our teacher, our sensei, our sifu. Same thing in MMA boxing. Embody the spirit of your coach, man, because your coach did it already.
Right.
You've been there.
Right.
You know what it is to be a champion.
Right.
So keep following them. Anyway, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Also, now we want to talk about transition to retirement. Now, are you officially retired, or
am I? I'm retired.
Yeah.
But if the right offer comes,
Yeah.
you know, I'm easily, unretired.
Right.
You still like
You
you
know?
ready to bang?
Yeah, I'm ready to bang still,
Yeah.
and I'm a head coach.
Yeah.
I'm a business owner.
That's right.
I own JT's Mixed Martial Arts. I'm the director of our nonprofit organization, JT Sports and Recreation.
Yes.
And I'm also building a 4,800 square foot youth center in the city of Lockport. And, like financially, I'm good. I don't need to fight,
Right.
but I love it. And it's in my heart.
Right. Absolutely.
But you got to know when to walk away.
Yeah.
And right now, I might have some news for you guys.
Okay.
Before we end this.
Absolutely. You might get an exclusive.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on a text message.
That's another text message. That's awesome. I think it's the beautiful thing is that when you look at fighters who are upper 30s, 40s, they pretty much are war torn at that point, but not you. At this point, I done seen you fight maybe 4 or 5 times at this point. And you don't get hit a lot.
Yeah.
You
Thank God.
You do a lot of hitting.
Thank God.
Yeah.
And that thank God. That's one thing is I don't get hit a lot. In my career.
Nope.
Never in my amateurs to my pros. Never took a knee.
Yep.
Never been knocked out. Never been knocked down.
Absolutely.
And I thank God for protecting me because your brain. We need our brain.
Yes, sir.
But you're right about that.
Yeah.
I slipped a lot of punches, man.
Absolutely.
We was looking online. What was the one stat where I had like how many times he was hitting somebody per minute?
Yeah.
Something like that.
They have a crazy stat that shows like it's kind of concubine boxes a little bit, but it basically tracks like how many times you've struck a person, and it's like in a particular place, right?
Yeah, I think it was like 19 times in a minute or something like that.
Yeah,
or
it was
beating
the
crazy.
brakes.
Yeah.
Beating the brakes.
Defense is number one.
Defense is number, and you got crazy deep. Like I was footwork. Yeah, his footwork is great. When we saw you last time at the LFA event at the Seneca Niagara Casino, like I was saying before we started recording, he was beating the guy up all night long. You was just beating him up. But your defense was crazy. I mean, you got out of the way of big head kicks.
All right.
I seen you. I think you bobbed a hook or something like that. Not a hook. You bobbed a cross. You threw a cross. But like you was just totally out the way, having your way with this opponent, and that's pretty much been every time I saw you fight.
Yeah.
How it's been. You know what I'm saying? So that just goes to show that footwork and defense is extremely important.
It is.
Absolutely.
Because after you're done competing, you have a life still.
Absolutely.
And you want to make sure all the screws are, nice and tight, not loose. And it does happen to a lot of fighters.
Yeah.
At the end of their careers, they start stuttering and everything. And I just thank God for protecting me and keeping me 100% healthy.
Keeping you healthy. I mean, and that also attributed to having a longer career. That attributes to you saying, if I get a call, I'm able, I'm willing, ready, and able, because
I haven't took that much damage in my career.
Nope.
And that's one thing is, a lot of these guys, they take a lot of damage.
They do.
And, that could be my, not the advantage I mean is that I haven't took that much of damage.
Nope.
And a lot of guys, they got cut years ago. Them cuts, you hit them one time there and bust them right back open.
You remind me of Bernard Hopkins in that way. He fought well into his, early 40s or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And even today, because he hasn't taken a lot of punishment, sharp, businessman, so it's important. I understand guys like to go out and bang, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
hit and not get hit.
Practice the sweet science, not just go out and bang, but win. And I think a lot of people don't see life after the sport, right? And so they lay it all on the line in the ring, and then they just kind of fade away. But you got children, you got business, you got all these different things. You've taken care of yourself in such a way where you're like, 40 might be considered older
Right.
in the sport life. It's very young in life, in
Yes,
actual
it
real
is.
life.
Yes,
You're
it
still a
is.
young man.
Yes, it is.
And so I'm happy you were able to preserve yourself enough to the point where you had your career, had a great career,
Right.
but also you still got a ton of years left on your life
Yes.
that you can spend being active with your family and your
Yes.
business
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
So you want the next one? You want me to jump into the next one?
Go ahead and jump in.
Okay. So you retired. We might get an exclusive. We'll see. But you're retired now. You've taken on the life of a trainer, and you actually got a ton of fighters from what I saw.
Yes, I do.
Boxing, kickboxing. You got anybody do
MMA.
MMA? Okay, so
Yes.
you do got MMA. So tell us now how life is as a trainer, and what do you like doing the most being a trainer?
Life as a trainer, you have to explain, let your fighters know that I'm not going to be always right there next to you, holding your hand,
Right.
telling you what to do.
For sure.
Sometimes you got to come in this gym and you got to work
Yeah.
on the things I told you you need work on.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to babysit you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll check on you and everything, make sure you're doing what you got to do. But
sure.
everything's going to show when you get in that ring and you spar me, what
Right.
you've been
Right.
training
Right.
and working on.
Yep.
I love being a trainer. I love winning. I love when my fighters win.
That's right.
And I let them know that gives me adrenaline boost. Like, I love it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
And I love their facial expression when they win.
Absolutely.
I don't like losing. We're not here. It's not for fun. We're
Yeah.
doing this to win.
Absolutely.
I have probably about 10 to 12 fighters.
Okay.
I have my two sons, Joe Taylor Jr. and Javon Taylor. They box. They have some amateur fights. They have some amateur fights. I'm trying to get them back in the ring.
Yes.
I understand. Like me always telling them, get in here.
Right,
It's like
right,
my
right.
dad
Right,
used to get in
right.
here. So when they're ready, they're gonna step back in
That's
and they can fight. My boys can fight.
That's good.
They've been
That's
fighting
good.
since they started walking
Right.
down in the basement.
Right.
So I got three boys. Them two fighting. I have my son Jameis Taylor.
Yeah.
He's in college. He's a hockey player.
Okay.
But
Nice.
he did some fighting
Absolutely.
too.
Right.
He's your
All
son.
my kids been fighting
Right.
since they were babies.
Absolutely.
In our basement or
Yes.
wherever we go. I got them sparring.
That's inspiring.
But I love what I do.
That's
I
awesome.
love it a lot.
That's awesome. That's an awesome thing. A follow up to that, I was going to ask you about just being a trainer. How long have you been training fighters at this point?
Man. I started training fighters at Lockport Athletic and Fitness Club. That was 15 years ago is when I started training guys.
Okay.
When I started fighting back then at 26, 27,
Yep.
that's when I became a coach
Yes.
and coaching guys at
Yeah.
Lockport Athletic and Fitness.
Oh, that's awesome.
So about 15 years, right?
15 years, yeah. So would you say, as a coach, and I hear this, but I want to ask the coach, but would you say that coaching people has made you a better fighter?
Yes.
Okay.
Big time. Big time. Me coaching made me a better fighter.
Yeah.
Just everything, just coaching, and you believe in what you're saying. If I'm gonna tell you the 1-2 slip,
Yeah.
and why you're slipping and what's open and stuff like that,
Yeah.
you just drilling it over and over and over, and then you start seeing stuff a lot slower.
Yeah.
So with me coaching, and I noticed that when I compete, it seems a lot easier. I
Absolutely.
can see everything a
Right,
lot more
right,
clear.
right.
And my punches are a lot more sharper
Yeah.
because I'm always demonstrating how to throw something.
Yep.
And now I'm super clean with the things that I do.
Absolutely.
And I don't like to be wrong.
Yes.
If I'm teaching you something, I want to make sure it's all facts. It's 100%.
Yes.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
And it definitely made me a better fighter. And being a coach,
Yeah.
I'm becoming a better coach every day also.
That's awesome.
Just reading, learning, studying,
Yeah.
Right.
all that good
That's
stuff.
Excellent. So we talked about your fight career, your motivations, you being a trainer. Now I want to kind of pivot a little bit and go into more of like your philanthropy work that you do in the community, that you do with the kids. So first and foremost, just kind of give us a rundown of some of the things that you do for the youth in the community, and then we'll kind of kind of go off my.
All right, so basically, this was my dad's dream. Everything I'm doing now is my father's dream. This was his dream.
That's awesome.
Back in the days, I didn't want nothing to do with it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and he passed away, and it was like boom.
Yeah.
And he wanted a youth center.
Yeah.
He wanted everything that I have now, but one thing he didn't get was the support,
Yeah.
the sponsors.
Yeah.
You know, if my dad wasn't a rich man,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he needed help.
For sure.
And he didn't get the help that he needed.
Right.
And that's one thing I got was a lot of support from businesses to help me, sponsors and all that help. But everything I'm doing is what my father wanted to do.
Awesome.
And you know, he's definitely living through me. So about about a year and a half ago, last year in March, you know, I've been talking about becoming a nonprofit,
Right.
and having after school parties or after school
Programs.
After school program.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Yeah, I see
You
you
know.
had a party this weekend.
Yeah, it was a good party this weekend for the kids. But you know, so I've been talking about being a nonprofit forever. Have after school programs and all that stuff. And then, you know, for years I was just thinking about it. I bought property in 2020, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna build a gym here, a youth center. You know, and for years, man, you got to work on this stuff every day.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
But so last year, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to become a nonprofit, and I paid for everything in March. Hired a lawyer that do all the paperwork. Boom. In March, I became a nonprofit.
Nice.
3 weeks later, I get an email from Shelly from Cornerstone Arena Ice Skating Rink.
Yep.
Joe, the Greg Lewis Foundation it's giving out grants. Reach out to them.
Ooh.
So I'm like, man, I just became a nonprofit.
Right.
Reached out to them. I reached out to them immediately. Within a minute, I got an email back. Yeah. And they sent me the application and everything. This was last year. All this happened so fast.
Yes.
And then boom, the Greg Lewis Foundation, you know, donated some money to start our acro, yoga, and meditation.
Nice.
Which is downstairs here, nonprofit, free for kids between the ages of 4 to 19.
Wow.
And that's how we started. And then ever since last year, I got a lot of other nonprofit organizations reaching out to me because they see what I'm doing and how I'm giving back. That the money that they're giving me isn't going in my pocket and going somewhere else. All that money is being invested here and on these kids.
Absolutely.
You know, yes. And they're reaching out to me left to right. I'm hiring people to help me out. We have after school program Monday through Friday, 3 to 5. Our yoga is on Thursdays from 7:15 to 8 o'clock. Our acrobatics, that's level 1 gymnastics. You know, teaching these young kids cartwheels or all that stuff. I don't know all that stuff. Right. That's why I hire people.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
But that is Tuesdays and Fridays from 4:30 to 6.
Yes.
You know, and it's all free. And then the after school program upstairs, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 for these kids from ages 12 to 18, all free for these kids.
Wow, that's incredible.
So, you know, like I said, you know, it's just, like I said, truthfully, like I thank God every day. I thank God 20 times a day for everything that he's doing. He crossed my mind. I'm thanking him because he's definitely blessing me and looking out for me.
I agree.
And, you know, and I'm just going to keep doing. I just see myself continue growing. And hiring more people. When we started our nonprofit, we only had about, for that first 6 months, only like 5 kids coming in and out. Man, you stay consistent. Now we got 20, 25 kids every day. Every day we got 25 to 30 kids for the after school program. Every day coming in and out. You do the math. You know, it's like over 100 some odd kids a week in this building.
Absolutely.
You know, and they feel safe and want them to feel safe here.
That's important. That's really important.
So with me, you know, buying that property in 2020, so now I'm closing on my loan.
Okay.
I got an SBA loan through M&T Bank, over $250,000 to build a pole barn. 4,800 square foot. And that's on the north end of town, low poverty. We got two housing projects. We got 2 schools down the street. We got a whole neighborhood over there. Ain't nothing over there.
Completely underserved.
Nothing. And So I've been approved for the loan. I'm closing on it. Hopefully I'll close on it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then we'll be breaking ground, building JT Sports and Recreation, our youth center over down in North End. And we'll keep JT's mixed martial arts here. We'll continue this being our classes, our gym classes where we also compete amateur boxing here. So we're gonna have 2 facilities in the city of Lockport.
Wow. Incredible, man.
That's cool.
As you guys can see, JT not only walks the walk or talks the talk, he walks the walk as well. He's really invested in his community, really invested in these kids. And you know, I think it's so awesome that you guys chose purposefully to put the community center in a underserved community or a part of the city where they don't have anything going on. And I tell people all the time, man, like, the reason why these crime rates go up, the reason why the pregnancy rates go up and everything, these kids don't have nothing to do. They have no access to nothing. No role models, no outlets, just all this just pent up energy, unfortunately, going in negative directions. But people like you are doing their best to change that. So I encourage anybody who's watching this, who might want to do sponsorships or whatever the case may be, please reach out to Joe Taylor, because as you can see, as you can hear, he's doing wonderful things and he's dedicated to his community and to these kids in a major way.
And the work is very impactful, because when we came for your amateur bouts that you had here that day, like, I was amazed by how many kids was here and into it. They wasn't just here. They was here into it, supporting all the fighters, communicating. And just like even watching how the kids like responded with you, like that's something that's like important to me, or whatever. And it's like I was like, man, if they really see you, they respect you, and that was just all the kids from the other gyms that came in and fight, the respect is there, and that's very impressive. And it's like, I applaud you for that, bro.
Thank you. And it works both ways. Like, I respect these kids, they respect me, And if there's an issue, we're gonna pull them to the side. We're gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna kick these kids out. These kids are misbehaving. I'm not gonna kick them out. I'm gonna make them work. So I'm not gonna kick them out. They can quit coming. And if they want, or they can stay here and let me work them.
Absolutely.
That's what I do. If I see these kids acting up, they're gonna work.
That's right.
They're gonna hit that treadmill.
That's right.
They're gonna give me some push-ups, some sit-ups.
That's right.
I'm not with the kicking these kids out, because they need that discipline.
They do.
That's the key thing there. The kids actually really do respect
Man,
discipline.
they love discipline.
People got to give it to them.
Yes.
People got to give it to them in a respectable manner. The kids really respect that.
And explain to them what they're doing, why they're doing it. Like, you doing these 100 push-ups. I don't care if it takes you an hour. You can give me these 100 push-ups.
That's right.
But what you're doing, could have caused this or that. And you just be being punished. God punishes us too.
That's right.
I ain't God, but I'm here to punish you.
That's right.
In a good way, though.
Good way. Right. To correct the behavior.
Yes, to correct that behavior.
Right. Absolutely. And that's good, because people will simply give up on kids.
Yes, they will quit.
Quit on them. Oh, you too much. Push them away.
Right.
And truth be told, that's probably something that they've experienced over their life anyway, which is what breeds the behavior.
Right.
People get giving up on them, quit on them. Right. But I'm happy to hear that you're like, nah, punch this punching bag. We're gonna fix the behavior.
Give me 100.
Absolutely.
I had a group of them the other day, and they're acting up. They're down the street. Doing things that they shouldn't be doing.
For sure.
And then as soon as they walked up in this gym, there was like 10, 15 of them. I got a video of it.
Yeah.
And I told them straight up what y'all were doing was wrong.
Yeah.
So y'all gonna give me this half an hour work?
That's right.
Or if y'all don't want it, you suspend it for a week.
Right.
I'll suspend. I won't kick you out, but I'll suspend you.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna want to.
And, I said so. You gonna give me this work for a half an hour, or you suspended for a week? Hey, none of them walked out that door. Right. They all gave me that work. And the funny thing is, when they finished it, they had a smile on their face, like they were, and they haven't repeated that.
That's awesome.
That I don't want these kids on the block.
No.
I don't want you on the block. And if I'm driving in my car, coming to the gym, and I see these kids on the block, and if I see smoke coming out your mouth, I don't know if it's from a vape. I don't know if it's you smoking weed.
Right.
I don't know if you're smoking a cigarette.
Right.
But when I see that smoke coming out your mouth, I'm gonna assume what I want to assume.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what other people are going to assume too.
Yep.
And when you guys are doing that,
Yep.
you know, a small handful of them,
Yeah.
you know, but all of them weren't vaping. There was 2 of them vaping,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but when they're all in a group, they all affiliated with that.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, that's why they all got had to give me that work. But the thing is, when other people drive by, I explain to them, they see you guys out here doing this, and then you guys leave the block, and then you come into my place.
Yeah.
That looks bad on all of us.
Absolutely.
And we're not going to have that.
Nope.
You know,
absolutely.
And they understood that. And then we had to come up with the pledge. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
So I got my buddy Nick. He made a pledge for these kids to sign.
Yeah.
That they're going to be leaders.
Yeah.
You know, and there's rules for them and everything. They're making a pledge to do the best that they can here inside of our gym and outside. You know, so you know, the more, you know, when these kids do wrong, we're finding ways to help them out.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. That's amazing, man. Amazing. Thanks. Any additional questions? Anything you have?
No, man. I'm happy about the interview. You hit us with one just a lot of good insight into just the fighting world and the life of a champion. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, you know, what I take away from it personally is just the work that you put back into the community.
Absolutely.
Like, that's very impressive. And like I said, our kids need it.
Yes, they do,
so
man.
That's huge. And I'm
glad
that we actually get able to put that out there. Especially, you know,
it's not easy.
Western New York, you know, we all family or whatever. So that's good business for the kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not easy, man. These kids give me a run for my money. You know, it's not easy, but you know what? I know it, and it's not. I'm not looking for nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I know God got me.
Absolutely.
And that's my number one goal. I just want to make it to heaven.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely.
That's it. But
beautiful.
Yeah. So I didn't get that text message.
Okay.
But we you know, waiting on some news.
Okay.
You know?
Absolutely.
So hopefully we can make a big, you know, an announcement. Soon.
Absolutely. So if the news come through, you know, we'll do an update.
Right. Sounds good.
We'll do an update for sure, man.
Sounds good.
I want to thank you so much for letting us come through and interview with you, man. It means a lot to us. One big thing about our platform is that we want to get with our local scene, our local region, and really shine light on what you're doing here. You know,
thank you.
When we first started out, you know, we were covering the big fights, the big fighters and stuff like that. And me and Joe made a decision. We said, man, we got so much going on in our region. Why not make our focus our people?
Right.
So, you know, that's what this platform is for. If you ever need us for anything, we're here. You know, just like when we came for the when you gave us the opportunity to come down for the USA boxing event.
Yeah,
which,
you guys
which was
did a
amazing.
great job.
Oh,
you guys did a great job, man. You guys look very professional too. I watched it, shared it, and everything. You guys look professional. Yeah, you hit me. I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't come through.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Take yourself at home.
That's right.
We got another one coming up January 11th. Here.
Yes.
January 11th, USA Boxing amateur show. So you know what I mean, bringing cameras and feel free to.
You hear that, y'all?
Yeah.
January 11th here, Blackport, New York. JT's Boxing Club.
Yep.
Down here.
Yep. Come down. It's a great event. I've been to a few of them now.
Yes, you have.
So
and thank y'all for always for supporting, man.
Absolutely.
Great energy.
Great energy, man. And it's consistently the energy is consistent, man. It is always the same. When I come through, Joe came through this time, so he knows, and it's just been a good time, and it's safe. It's safe. It's not contentious. It's just people who are
positive energy.
That's it.
People who like boxing. You know what I'm saying? A good energy.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely, man. So there you have it. Joe Taylor, son of a legend. Impose My Will podcast. We out.
Peace.
Peace.